Hi everyone, my name is Vinay, and today I'll be showcasing one of my creations. So I am a composer and often I'll be dealing with notation softwares and scores and all sort of things related to music writing in general. So as a contemporary composer, we tend to use quite a lot of details, and I've noticed that when working on notation softwares like Sibelius, Dorico, MuseScore, Finale, it's really hard to notate such things because most of them they don't really come with the symbols. So during the past few weeks, I've been working on this tool. I've been calling it as a Sibelius Extension Tool because for now it just works on Sibelius. And what it aims to do is to make contemporary composing, orchestrating, and arranging more efficient. For now, you can see here on my screen, this is my laptop screen by the way, there are a few symbols and a few with different colors and some different menus. And what this extension aims to do is to communicate with Sibelius and turn whatever you select here into some sort of action within Sibelius. Well, you may ask, so how am I supposed to use this? Because for now you are using this on a laptop screen, and it doesn't really work because you need Sibelius to be open. So yeah, so Sibelius must be your, let's say, your main screen. So I've got now Sibelius here, and I've now, hopefully by now, I'll just move the keypad to the left on Sibelius. And hopefully by now I've added in my iPad screen on the inferior right corner. So as you can see, it's exactly the same setup as I've showed previously, but now it's on my iPad. So what I'm using here is something called OpenStage Control. So recently I've been working on a template for Cubase, which is the JW that I use. And I've came across some softwares like Metagrid and Touch OSC, and then I thought, oh, and if I was to do this in Sibelius instead of keeping it to Cubase? And I faced some struggles because the thing is, Cubase has support for general MIDI remote controllers, and Sibelius doesn't. So how do I come around this? So the way that I came around this was by using a software called Boom's MIDI Translator Classic. It's a free software, and basically it translates any MIDI information, such as a MIDI controller data, into keystrokes. At least that's how I have programmed it to. I came this across on the Oscillator forums because I've heard that Oscillator is, let's say, is the major alternative for Mac OS users, but unfortunately it's not really available for Windows. And what is happening essentially here is that within OpenStage Control, which is the right inferior corner on my screen on my iPad, basically I have programmed everything there, and whatever I press on OpenStage Control, a MIDI controller data will be sent, and then MIDI, the MIDI translator, Boom's MIDI Translator Classic will get that information, that MIDI information, and convert it into some sort of keystroke. So let me expand a bit more on OpenStage Control. So the reason why I'm using OpenStage Control is just because, let's say, it's just the best option that is available right now. It's way more customizable than Metagrid and Touch OSC, and plus it's for free. It's completely for free. However, the learning curve can be quite a bit challenging at the start, but once you sort of know what you are doing, you can create some really unique things and some very useful things. So let me demonstrate how this works. So I have prepared here four bars of music. Nothing really special, it's just showcase a few things. We have a flute, we have an oboe, we have a French horn, we have a piano, and we have a violin. So what I want to do, what I can do here, so let's start with the oboe. So let's imagine that I want to create an effect where the air pressure, where the player is not blowing much air pressure into the instrument. So Sibelius, you can't really do that on Sibelius. You have to import, you have to either create or import a house style or with the symbols. And I've been creating some symbols and having a look at some different books and creating, let's say, digital versions of them and importing to Sibelius. So the first thing I'll do before adding anything, I'll just import my house style. So as you can see here that I have quite a lot of them because I mean I've been working these on a daily basis and updating it quite often. So let's start with the oboe. I'll just go here to the blue thing on Open Stage Control and I'll select air pressure. And as you can see now, I have here some like a wheel of options, and each wheel, once I release my finger from it, it will whatever symbol I select, it will be translated in Sibelius. So I'll select this first one, which is almost which is just a blank rectangle with no air pressure. So as you can see, the symbol is there, right here. Okay, next thing that I will want to do, I just want to, let's say, to remove its magnetic layout, just to make things easier to edit. So I'll just press the magnetic layout off, and that's off now. Sorry, I can drag it wherever I want now. So I'll just leave it here for now. Okay, let's return to that. Okay, let's take this off and let's add something else. I don't want, I change my head and I change my mind and I want to add in some very strong air pressure. So I'll just select this one, and as you can see now we have a full square, full rectangle which indicates air pressure, very strong air pressure. Okay, let me take, yeah, let's skip that. Okay. Another thing that I have included into this, so when I'm writing for woodwinds, I sometimes really like to use multiphonics, especially within the oboe. So I have created a tab on Open Stage Control with my multiphonics creator. So I'm not a proper oboe player. For now, for the sake of this video, I just demonstrate how something may look like. Oh, I've accidentally selected a symbol there, but yeah, that will do. So half pressed kiss. Let's add in some full ones, some fully pressed ones, and finally let's add in a blank one. Okay. And as you can see here, one of the things that's sort of annoying is that when I'm dragging things, everything's sort of moving together, and I don't really want that, and that's caused because of the magnetic layout in Sibelius. So I'll just highlight those symbols and press magnetic layout off, and everything now should be able to work. So what I can do here is just sort of stack them on top of each other. Fortunately, Sibelius does have a key command for to align things. Okay. Okay, let's imagine that I want to take this and copy and paste that again, and let's just drag it. Let's add a divider. So go back to my multiphonics creator, I'll add a divider. So the divider is there. Let's get this divider, drag it down, and we have some sort of fingering there, which a finger diagram, which often will link to multiphonics in general. Specifically on oboe, you may also want to add in some reed position. So let's add this reed position. There we go. So specifically for oboe, sometimes we may want to add in the reed position as well, and makes the performance of a multiphonic a bit easier when the performer come across it on the score. Okay, so enough about the oboe now. So let's go to the harps. So if I find the harp here, so on the red tab on my Open Stage Control template, it is allocated specifically for strings and harps. And for this passage, I want the harpist to play it with a plectrum. So I'll just go here, I select that passage there, and there we go, we have a line with a plectrum. And I'll just drag this. And now that indicates that that passage should be performed with a plectrum. Okay, we will also add to this very bottom note, adding a thunder effect, which creates a lot of rumble on the harp. And I'll just drag this down, and there we go. And I will also adding a damp indication. So let's go for this one to damp all strings, because after using the thunder effect, it creates quite a lot of rumble. So maybe you may wish to damp those strings. Yeah, so that looks good. So for this, I want adding some let's say some arpeggiated lines. And now on my open stage control template, if I go to the orange thing, and it's basically my general things, which is just general. I just call it as general menu, because it basically works for most instruments. So I've got here this arpeggio line, so just select that, and there we go. We have added in some arpeggios. So I'm happy with that. At the end here, I have prepared some rests and some notes, and I'll just adding some fermatas. So adding the long one. There we go. That's nicely done. So one of the important things that I must state about this tool is that this tool is not going to replace your keypad. Instead, you should be using it to complement each other. So hence why I've called it as an extension tool. It will make workflow way quicker, especially when you want to add in some very specific lines like this one for plectrum. Okay, so let's move to the violins. And here on the violins, I want everything to be played on the Su G string. One of the most annoying things on Sibelius is that it doesn't come with Su G, Su A, Su C, and all the other Su and whatever string you want. It doesn't come on Sibelius as a default setting, so you have to create those lines. So if you just find it here, so I want this passage to be played on the Su G, on the G string, on the violin. There we go. Everything is going to be played on the G string. I'll just drag this above. And okay. Yeah, that seems to work fine. Yep, that works fine. And yeah, it's going to be on the Su G string, and at the same time, I want it to be played with consordino. There we go, we added in consordino. I'll just position it at the start to make sure to make just space for the next thing that I'm going to add, which is going to be let's add some flat thunder, why not? Yeah, there we go. So as you can see there, I didn't type anything, and I just pressed and everything was typed automatically, so it makes the workflow way quicker. Okay, move on to the next thing. So move on to the horns. I want this passage to be very staccato, so I just adding some staccato dots there. This note here that I've just selected, I want it to be flutter-tongued. So one of the things that I should mention is that the blue thing on open stage control is for woodwinds and brass. So I'll just click here on flutter tongue, and there we go, we've added in some flutter tongue there. And yeah, that looks fine for now. For the flute, I want for the flute, I want everything to be played as wind tones. So just go back here on there, select wind tones, and okay, so I just have to copy these over and to the next things. the way that Sibelius work is that it works with symbols and articulations. It may sound very weird, but for Sibelius, articulations are different from symbols. So articulations in Sibelius is everything that you can find on your keypad. So if I just click here on the keypad and move to something different. So for example, accents, tenuto, staccato, those are articulations. You can also encounter them on Sibelius as symbols, but they behave slightly different. And unfortunately, Sibelius doesn't allow you to add more articulations. Well, it does. It technically does. It allows you to add 3 new ones, and I've done them for double tongue and triple tonguing, and I don't remember what the other one was. And yeah, so that's one of the limited things. But as I said before, this tool is supposed to be work. I mean, you're supposed to use this tool together with your with your normal keyboard. So, for example, as you previously saw there, when I added the wing tone, there was just one, even though I have selected the whole passage. So what I essentially done, I copied that symbol and just pasted into everything else. So for this very last note here, I want it to be just air, so I'll select this. There we go. Let's finally move on to the piano then. So one of the things that I also added for piano is that sometimes I like to write in my fingering in for each note. So if I press, I can hide my tabs on Open Stage Control, and underneath it I've added in another menu with extra text, essentially. So, and here I have a fingering menu which will type in the fingering. So for that I want finger number 5. So if you scroll to select finger number 5, there we go, 5 is there now, and we can just drag it down here, and we can do it so on and so forth for everything else if you should wish to. I've also added in an option for chord symbols. So if I press this, and then I can type in a chord. So let's just go for 251, 2 minor 9. There we go. I'll just drag this down to not clash with the harp step there. Let me select this one more time. Let's go for G7. And to finish off here, we can add in. Let's go for C major 9, sharp 11. So sharp 11. There we go. And yeah. So now that I'm happy with this, I'm happy with the piece how it looks now. Let's go to the engraving part of it. So one of the things that I spend most time working on when engraving is like the measurement between things. So I like to have a margin zone and some rulers as well, just so that I can have like some context on where each thing is within the page. So let's activate the page margins, and let's also activate the rulers. And there we go, we have step ruler and page margin zone. And what we can do now, ideally we shouldn't be doing this, but I just want, I want to make the first 2 bars into a page. So I can just come here into my make into page option. There we go, we have a page. And now I want to create this, make this into a single system. Oh, and it automatically got everything to the other page. Okay, and let's imagine that we dragged things a bit like this. Well, it doesn't look like the most accurate layout, but just for the sake of showcasing what else we can do on this. I'll just leave it there for now. So often, to make things a bit clearer, we may want to align staves. Trust me, aligning staves make things very clear and much more easy to read. So I've included an option here for that. So let's press align staves, and let's go for these options, and there we go. Everything's aligned now. So essentially, this is it. There are many things that I can see adding into this, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to showcase what OpenStage Control and whatever and the templates that I created is able to. It just makes composing, orchestrating, and arranging way quicker and also easier. And also at times it may works really well as a way of remembering what different instruments can do, specifically with some more contemporary and extended techniques. So that may help as well. So soon enough, I'll be back and giving you some more depth on how I created this, because trust me, there are a few things that you have to do in order to create, in order to make this work properly. So as you could see at some times when I was pressing buttons, you could see that some very quick menus were appearing. And yeah, essentially have to use quite a few plugins on Sibelius to make it work. So I plan to make a tutorial on how let's see how everything works within this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much and see you.